So everyone, welcome back to Swift with Serhan. This will be the last episode for our payment card bootcamp. Basically, I am really sorry that it took a little bit longer than expected for me to release the last episode. Basically, at the very beginning of very first episode, I mentioned that we are gonna cover animated ring for this episode, but unfortunately I don't want to go and make this series any longer, so this will be our last episode. So in this case, what we are trying to achieve, as I mentioned you before, we are gonna flip the card back and forth when the active field is changing. So without further ado, as you remember, we created an active field, focus state, and if the focused annotation actually modifier is actually defining or instantiating our active field variable when it is changing. Actually, whatever the focused text field is active, the active field parameter is set. And on change, we were listening the values here. Okay, so I would like to show you, actually, I would like to define here one more focus state. Okay, it's gonna be variable animated field. Okay, it's gonna be type of active field. The reason why we're gonna have this, we're gonna have the if statement in order to apply the flipping animation for our card, and in order to able to in a correct way to follow our change variable. Okay, so if you define this, and if you go to on change of active field, I already defined it, I think at the very first of episode, with animation self.animated field is equal to new value. Okay, this is what we are gonna do, that's it. And later on you will be able to see what we are going to achieve. Okay, so one more thing, when we run this application and build, you will see our card has a gap between top edge to the card. Actually, it has a gap. In order to get rid of from this gap, actually, we are going to add a spacer to push the card and the text fields to the very top of the field. So please go here and add spacer. Let me run. Yeah, you see it starts in the middle. So please find this padding. So if you go, it's a end of V stack actually. Spacing. Let me actually write here end of main V stack. Okay, so you will be able to track it more easily. So we're gonna have a spacer here with minimum length 0. Okay, so this will push our card view to the top of the screen. Okay, so let's run and see what changed. You see, so it's over there. So now I want to show you how the animated field will replace actually the current cards view back and forth, front and back. Basically, let's go and write an if statement. As I mentioned, if animated field is not equal to CVV, which just this is one case, we are gonna keep the as an overlay card front view. Okay, so we're gonna have this, and else if it's a CVV, we are gonna keep the card back view. Okay, and the frame 200 will be remaining at this place. So this is where text fields start. Okay, so let's run the application now to see without transition what is changing. You see, we have the card number because as an initial state it is actually null. Our animated field parameter is null. Okay, we defined it as null. And let's jump to CVV. It's not rendered. That's weird. Let's put a debugger here. Okay. Let's change it. It's a month. So a state is running. Okay, this one is not our aim. New value is a month. Okay, great. Is CVV triggered? It is triggered, but our if statement is not triggered actually. Card front view, card back view. Okay, let's see what's going on. Again, I'm gonna run it again. That is weird. Actually, our code for the card back view is wrong. It shouldn't be a mesh gradient. Basically, it will be in this way. Rounded rectangle. Okay, sorry. Just want to see actually why it's not flipping. Okay, why the state is not updating, because this is important. This is important to understand why it's not happening. Animated field is triggered, and what else is not triggered? I mean, this is a focus state. It is changing actually. So, oh yeah, sorry. This should be state, because that's why it's not getting updated. So it's gonna be state private bar. Sorry, completely sorry. It's my mistake. That's why I just wanted to fix this error with you so that we can see what's going on, because it was supposed to be at least changing updating the view. So when we click on CVV, you see it is updating, but there is no flip. You see, once we click again CVV, it is at least changing updating the UI. Okay, so that's great. There is no flip option here. Now we are gonna implement the flip functionality. This is going to be a big. It's gonna be a little bit longer video, because the flip transition modifier will be actually developed by scratch by me. So I want you to understand actually the transition option. Okay, so without further ado, let's create another folder, naming it as just a minute. I want to see what can we name it. We can put a folder, and we can maybe name it as a transitions or view transition. View transitions will be better. Okay, great. So let's jump into creating an empty file and name it as a flip transition. Okay, so we will import SwiftUI obviously, and we will create a struct flip transition. This will be ViewModifier and it's gonna inject also implement actually Animatable. Okay, a custom transition that flips a view around the y-axis. Okay, this will be an y-axis flipping transition. So I'm making comments for you so that you can understand. Let's make another comment. Works like a card flip animation. Okay, so let's create our progress of animation. It will be starting from 0 actually. It will be starting from 0. Let's make another comment. -1 will be fully rotated to left. 0 normal state. 0 is gonna be equal to normal state. And 1 will be fully rotated to left. So this is a variable which will give us a progress. CG float is equal to 0. Okay, this is a variable where we are going to change so that we can basically control the flipping from left to right, right to left, and normal state. Okay, so next step is to have a computed variable. As I mentioned, the next step is to creating the computed variable. As you can see now, the compiler yells. It complains about the FlipTransition does not confirm the protocol ViewModifier. Okay, so also we are gonna have animatable data, which is going to be CG float. Okay, so and then when we we will have a get and set. When we have the get, we will return the progress, and for the set, we will have the progress new value. Okay, so this is computed variable animatable data, which is required by the when we here implement the animatable. So let's make add the comment here. Okay, so required by animatable. And also since we are implementing the ViewModifier, we need to have the body. Okay, so we will have the body. So we'll have func body and context. Okay, so and then we will say content, and we will do some operations here, but this should be same type. Okay, so let's add comment show hide content depending on flip progress. Okay, so and ensures only one side is visible at a time. What is making ensure? That opacity modifier. Okay, so we will have progress. If the progress is less than 0, okay, we'll have a computed if statement. -1 progress is less than 0.5. It's gonna be 1, otherwise it's going to be 0. Okay, so we are having the Turner operator inside the Turner operator here, basically. So if the progress is less than progress less than 0.5, if it's correct, it's gonna be 1, and if it's false, the opacity will be 0. So actually flipping, let me comment this out as well. I mean, make a comment here as well. left front visible until. Okay, and if this is wrong, if it is greater than 0, we are gonna have progress, the positive value. If it is less than 0.5, it's going to be 1, and if it is greater than 0.5, it's going to be 0. So this will be flipping right. Okay, so front visible until. I hope it makes sense for you. And we are going to have another modifier, rotation 3D effect. Okay, so we will have init method here, as we are going to instantiate it with decrease and current progress multiplied by 180. So this a little bit requires a mathematical knowledge, but when we multiply progress by 180, it will help us to rotate in the x-axis. Sorry. Okay. So axis. So let me put this one line below, and it's gonna be rotate 180 degrees based on progress. And axis here, axis is going to be 0.0 and 1.0 and 0.0, which tells us, okay, rotate around y-axis. I said x-axis before, but it will be y-axis, horizontal flip. Okay, so apart from this, for rotation 3D effect, we are going to add one more parameter. Okay, so let's say, okay, we are in the rotation, perspective 0.5. so let this also send this to one line below, and then copy this comment here, and then we are gonna add depth for a realistic 3D effect. Yes, so as you can understand, this is necessary for flipping back and forth in the y-axis. Okay, so we are going to have also extension, any transition. Okay, so it's gonna be an extension for any transition. Okay, this is coming from native SwiftUI actually. So it is available from iOS 13 and onwards. Okay, so we are gonna implement static flat flip any transition. It's going to be modifier. Okay, flip transition progress -1, and identity will be flip transition. Okay, so I hope it makes sense for you. We need to create these static variables because this transition, flip transition, actually the animation will be applying any transition. Okay, we will see where we are going to apply this, and this is the next one. Okay, before that I want to also add a comment here. Okay, this is for start from -1 to rotate to left, and this actually help us to end the transition at a 0 point, which is a normal. Okay, so and this applies for the reverse transition. Okay, so these two variables are necessary to include. Okay, so and then we will see where we are going to use it actually. If we jump our content view, let's close this one and let's see. So what we're gonna do, if we are going to apply transition, it's gonna be flip. So we are using actually the any transition that we created. If this one is going to show on reverse flip. So if we are going to show the back view of the card, the reverse flip is going to be applied. If we are going to show the front view, we are going to flip. We are going to apply the other way of flipping, so that it will be shown. Okay, it will be flipping. So with that said, let's jump and run our application to see what we have achieved so far. Okay, so it will take time actually for in order to install the application, but in the meantime, just to rephrase, when we going to rotate from left to right, we are going to apply the flip, and this is a transition type. Extension is created in a static variable because the values will not change, and also this is a reverse flip from right to left. Okay, so let's see if our simulator is ready to run the application and see what's going on and what we have achieved so far. Okay, so yeah, let's see if it is running. It will take some time to launch. Sorry about this one. Actually, I will stop the video. So application is up and running. Okay, so when we enter the card number here, we covered how to change the stars on the card to card number in an animated way in the previous videos. So this is included there, and then when we jump into CVV, you see the application, the card is flipping from right to left, and when we click on month, left to right. Okay, so this is basically it is. We came to end of our video. I hope you understood how flipping transition is working, and if you have any question, please leave the comments below. I will try to follow my videos comments and see if you have any comments or questions. I will try my best to answer them. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. And if you have any ideas, basically what you would like me to include in the further videos, please do not hesitate to make a comment below, and see you in the next video.